Alright, so you're going to want to open your game and go to the top left and click on your player profile. And then you have 3 game modes. You can select one, like the Operation Verge, and on the far right there's a replay feature for each game that you have. And they save this for each of the game modes, so you can see what you're playing essentially. Go ahead and click on the full replay button to open up a replay. I fast forward the loading screen, and then it drops you into a recreation, a re-rendering of the game data to create the video that you're seeing. So here you can change the UI settings to change the overlay on what you see in front of the screen or on screen. I always recommend turning off the display banner on the bottom bar. Not a lot of people like seeing it, and I've noticed that as well. And you can play with these settings to change the interface. After you're happy with that, you can see on the bottom here that you can rewind time by 10 or 60 seconds or fast forward it by 10 or 60 seconds. There's also a different playback speed modifier, which is kind of a cool feature if you want to get like a slow-mo shot in or a barrage. And here I click on the UI button just to show the interface again. You can record clips by clicking on the record button, and then if you want to mark the footage, click record again, and that creates a little snippet from the gameplay itself. Here I click on the footage button to show you the different footage that you can record and clip, and that's where it's saved kind of in short term while you're viewing the footage that you have. And then you can click export. I always recommend going for the highest FPS. You can select which footage you want to save, full replay for post-production or just the clips that you've marked. There's the interface button again, in case you want to mess with the interface. You can change volume settings here. And then I recommend naming it something that is memorable for you, easy to name. And then you can open the video directory and it'll show you where it's saved. You can choose to save it somewhere else, and I always recommend that because you go back where the video is saved naturally, it will only show the last 15 games or so of the record data of the game. So if you play more games, it deletes the files. So I recommend saving it into a directory that you would open or access. And when you do that, you click export, and then it takes some amount of time to export the entire video, and then you got your video after it finishes exporting. Now this is one way to do it. Obviously if you're on PC, you also have different recording devices like Steam's overlay or Discord or something that can work. So this is just another option, but this is utilizing the in-game replay feature. And I've used this to help watch my gameplay data without necessarily having to run an overlay while I'm playing the game. There was several times when, some of my teammates were flaming or raging at me because, I'm a Panaka main and they are upset that they don't get heals. So I usually just tell them to watch the replay and see how I did. That usually shuts them up. I think that the replay feature could benefit better if they had a free camera setting, so that way you can create really cool clips like you could in Halo 3's cinema mode. I also think that if the replay feature allows you to see other perspectives, it would be much better, and the kill cams, I think it would be much better. So the important things to note is that the gameplay data of the footage that you record only saves X amount of battle data, and afterwards it deletes that file to make room for new files for new battles. So you do want to save, if you want to keep your videos, you do want to save them outside of the directory and not in the directory, or else they'll get deleted. And that's from my current experience. Also from my experience of making a couple videos here and there, a lot of non-Mecha Break players don't find it visually appealing to have a whole bunch of status indicators on your indicator window. So I usually go with just the reticle and the weapons on the side showing you like how much ammo you have and stuff. I think for whatever reason, this game has a lot going on, and each game's like 7 minutes long or so. About yeah, and the average non-Mecha Break player just, I guess they don't comprehend the amount of noise or information that's on the screen, so they're usually overloaded, which is, you know, as a non-Mecha Break player, they don't understand what's going on and they don't know what to focus on because there's too much. But as a regular Mecha Break player that knows how to pilot their striker, they see all those indications and they're all meaningful. So just consider that if you're trying to make appealing videos or content for whoever you're trying to look for. This is a guide for mainly the PC and using the replay feature. I've used the replay feature itself as a way to see how well I did, how well I performed, also where I could improve, and think about how I could have done things differently, strategy-wise. Yeah, and that's it. Thanks for watching. Hopefully this was helpful, and hopefully the Mecha Break devs add some more improvements to the cinema mode, because I think that would be really cool, and that would be great for all sorts of different types of content.